Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. And welcome to our meditation service. So I invite you to get settled in, taking anything off your laps and starting your gaze inward. And to begin, see how long you can sit in your present state before your mind wanders. When your mind does wander, bring your attention back to your breath and note how your body and mind are more intertwined than we tend to be attuned to. Feel all your body sensations, allowing them to reverberate with the soothing movement of the sound and strength that your breath provides. More of the same can be a whole new thing. We're going to be working with this koan today. So take a deep breath in and out, seeing where this koan lives. I will repeat it several times during this meditation. So trust by the end of the practice, you can and will find an initial interpretation of it for yourself. I invite you to take a deep breath every time it is repeated, furthering your embodiment of the message. Your inner wisdom provides you from it. More of the same can be a whole new thing. A drop of water becomes an ocean. What factors contributed to turning into ice? A tsunami, a snowfall, a stream. Is it the weather that dictates the nature of the water? Or the water's ability to adapt? Feel the calmness of the waves of your breath and note whatever thoughts, emotions, sensations emerge and float on these waves as the impermanent experiences that they are. More of the same can be a whole new thing. An infant growing leads to moving forward in development, whether it's standing, walking, running. Hibernation leads to transformation. One habit sustained can lead to so much creation. Opportunities to build off of, stories to be shared, memories alive in the fabric of our DNA. Will they remain the same or take on a whole new meaning? See what resonates in the moment. Deepening your breath and widening the sense of support your body experiences with your insights expanding. more of the same can be a whole new thing. Walking the same path is never the same experience. Think of a route you take often and recall all the new sights, sounds, and sensations that present with each excursion. What is it that you are conscious of? What is it that you may have found to pass your mind's view? Seeing it, but not really noticing its beauty. Imagine what it is like to give yourself a chance to really see the change around you with the curiosity of a child. We can turn a mile into a marathon, and will with our repetition and consistency. We can turn a marathon into a journey with our curiosity and our appreciation of the change along the way. More of the same can be a whole new thing. Your coming to this group has formed a new pattern, a neural pathway fired and formed, created from a strengthening of your interpretation of another world forming of new patterns, the very nature of one of the most powerful resources we all possess, our thoughts. What thoughts have been most powerful in allowing you to activate positive change in your life? What thoughts have released you from the previous paths? Think about how each step has led you to a new level. Each level, a new floor, a vast exploration of the building of a whole new thing. Recognize how your presence in this space creates a ripple effect for those around you. Whether this is your first time here or you have been here before, this group is a whole new thing because you're present. Notice anything that comes to mind at this point. See where the koan lands when we repeat it one more time. More of the same can be a whole new thing. More of the same can be a whole new thing. of the same can be a whole new thing. Ever so slowly and gently, return your attention to your body. Take as many deep breaths as you need. When you return to this space, give yourself a minute to notice any changes in how you feel and the space around you. Take a moment to reflect on anything that comes to mind before fully returning to us and what this reflection was like for everyone. More of the same can be a whole new thing. Let us take a deep, unifying breath together. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your practice. Together, we make a difference. So allow your awareness to come fully to the place where you are sitting, the seat beneath you, the support of the chair, your feet on the floor, perhaps giving your toes a little wiggle, then your fingers. And ever so slowly and gently, allowing gratitude to well up in your hearts, in your minds. So grateful for this time together. So grateful for our practice of meditation. So grateful for this day and this celebration here at Centers for Spiritual Living. So when you're ready, ever so slowly and gently, begin to open your eyes. Thank you. Namaste. Service will begin at 10:30. You're welcome to stay here in the sanctuary or go visit out in the lobby and get yourself a cup of coffee. See you soon.
Good morning, everyone. Hello to everyone in the sanctuary and those still wandering around in the lobby, getting coffee in the last minute. I don't know what they've been doing all morning. Anyhow, good morning. Welcome to our Sunday celebration. We are here to celebrate your spiritual magnificence. And I think we're going to hear a song from the Big Love Band because we're talking about magnificent. We got our own 4 magnificent beings right here with us, bringing us joy and dance and fun, and I'm looking forward to see what they have for us today. Oh, young bloods, get together. I know I'll be dancing. Welcome the Big Love Band, everybody.
Speaking of dance, you can't dance unless you're standing on your feet.
Love is but a song we sing, fears where we die. You can make the mountains ring, or make the angels cry. Though the bird is on the wing, and you may not know why. Come on, people now, smile on each other, everybody get together, trying to love one another right now. Some may come and some may go, we will surely pass. When the one that left us here returns for us at last, we are but a moment's sunlight fading in the grass. Come on, people now, smile on each other, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on each other, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. If you hear a song we sing, you understand. You hold the key to love and fear, all in your trembling hand. Just one key unlocks them both, it's there at your command. Come on, people now, smile on each other, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Come on. Come on, people now, smile on each other, everybody get together, try to love one another right now, right now, right now.
Yes, it's all about getting together and loving one another, really. That would solve a lot. If you have any questions about any of the announcements, probably I will be at the back table right after service, and we and I and everybody who knows anything will try to help you. Because we have midweek tune-up in the middle of the week, Wednesday, from noon to 1:30. This time of year, generally it's in the lobby. Sometimes it's outside, but maybe this week it would be outside because I think we're gonna have some cool weather, right? I wore sleeves today because I'm like, oh, it's gonna get cool. And then if you can't make it during the day, in the evening with Linda Lloyd, who's holding High Watch over there, we have Raise Your Vibration, 6 to 7 p.m. So come on out and have some fun. It's a little different. You never know what's going to happen. There could be music, dancing, a reading, discussion, just different things can happen. Come on out. And Karen's back, and so is Mindful Moments Meditation on Thursday evenings via Zoom. You can see the lobby and the flyer. The lobby in the flyer. You can see the flyer in the lobby or visit our website at cslcapecoral.org. Ernest Holmes is the founder of our philosophy, and we teach all the universal truths found in all spiritual teachings, both traditional and contemporary. Please visit our website, cslcapecoral.org, for information and upcoming events, which we have a lot of. Submit a prayer request or to send us your comments and or questions. And thank you to Linda Lloyd, who is holding the High Watch. This means that Linda is maintaining the high consciousness through meditation, realizing the wholeness for the community, our teams, the band, the speakers, everyone involved in the service, including you all out there. And with that, we have another song from the Big Love Band, Everything is Beautiful.
I love how everyone is still standing. Yeah. Awesome. Everything is beautiful in its own way, like the starry summer night, or snow-covered winter's day. Everybody's beautiful in their own way. We're all creating heaven. The world's gonna find a way. There is none so blind as they who will not see. We must not close our minds. We must let our thoughts be free. For every hour that passes by, the world gets a little bit older. It's time to realize that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Everything is beautiful in its own way, like the starry summer night, the snow-covered winter's day. everybody's beautiful in their own way. We're all creating heaven. The world's gonna find a way.
I found myself singing that song this week. I think you guys played it last week, did you? And all week I'm like, and I'm thinking, people are like, what are you doing? Anyhow, so I'm really excited about the 28th of October. We have Trunk or Treat from 4 to 6 p.m., and we have a lot of stuff coming in, but we're still looking for more things. There's a box out there to bring your donations if you're not setting up a trunk. Plus, this will help the people that are setting up the trunk, so the financial part doesn't just fall on them. So we want to join in. It's a community effort, and everybody's invited to donate goodies or toys or some little items. And then my favorite thing is the spooktacular soiree. And we're going to have some good times. You guys know how fun it is when we get together, and music, food, dancing, and raising some money for the center here. So it's our fundraiser, and I have the tickets in the bookstore. They're $30 now, $35 at the door, or if you want, you can go online and purchase your tickets there in advance. They will be $30. And so please stand, everyone. No. You know what? Sitting is the enemy. Sitting is the enemy. And we're going to say a little affirmation we have here. Rub your hands together if you want, and turn to your neighbors and say, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. We know who you truly are. You are the spiritual image and likeness of God. We appreciate you, we love you, and we are thankful you are here. Welcome to the center. Woo. Get some good energy going there. And we have another wonderful song from the Big Love Band. Woo.
I love the title of this song.
Little girl looks into her mother's eyes and asks a question that can only come from a child. Mommy, are there angels, and do they really fly? Will I know one when I see one? This was her reply. Oh, angels don't always wear wings. They live inside your hopes and prayers and dance around your dreams. Echo from the silence, quiet acts of kindness. Oh, angels don't always wear wings. There are little miracles that happen every day and never make the headlines, but make a difference anyway. Do you remember how your grandma dried your tears when you thought the world was hopeless, and she magically appeared. Oh, angels don't always wear wings. They live inside your hopes and prayers and dance around your dreams. They echo from the silence, the quiet acts of kindness. Oh, angels don't always wear wings. There are moments in our lives when we may not recognize that we're in the presence of God's messenger of love. Oh, angels don't always wear wings. They live inside your hopes and dreams and dance around your dream. They echo from the silence, the quiet acts of kindness. Oh, angels don't always wear wings. Oh, angels don't always wear wings. Oh, angels don't always wear wings.
Oh, that was just beautiful. Oh my gosh. I might have to ask you not to do that song if I'm hosting. Anyhow, so at this time, I don't know if there are any children here today. Oh, in the middle. You guys are usually over there. I'm looking over there. Don't get me confused, please. It's easy to do sometimes. So you are dismissed to go to your classroom and have some fun. Get out of here with these boring adults. I mean, really. So anyhow, there they go. So please welcome John Coriel to do this week's reading.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good to be here, and we've got some marvelous thoughts and ideas for you today, and I know you'll probably pick some up throughout the service. That's the tiny print. I had to have the tiny print today. It says here for our reading, love is the solution to every problem. That's a nice thought, isn't it? Love is the solution to every problem. Any experience that causes conflicts actually and is an invitation for a shift. When we dive deep into love to resolve any situation that arises, we allow for that shift to occur. Conflict allows for us to practice radical forgiveness. When we respond to our challenges with radical forgiveness, we demonstrate the value of the forgiveness of itself. Our choices serve as an example to others of how radical forgiveness can look. Every challenge is an invitation to discover how love resides behind it. An interesting thought. When we love ourselves, our lives shift, authentically inspiring joy. When we're out in the world serving as an example of self-love, we are proving to others that love always wins. I like that. Love always wins. Our decision to embrace who we are inspires others to do the same. Loving ourselves out loud attracts people into our lives who celebrate us instead of merely tolerating ourselves. Makes me chuckle. Loving ourselves and each other aligns us beautifully with opportunities, beautiful experiences, and beautiful peace. Love is the solution to every problem, and we just recognize that as a wonderful thought and idea. And right now, we're going to take a moment to just recognize spirit here as we take a moment for the silence and just holding someone, a situation, or an individual in your prayers. And just we'll have a moment of silence for doing that right here and now. And we just bless those individuals and situations, and we bless this wonderful celebration service at the same time, knowing that it is in perfect divine right order and just sparkling right along. Indeed, indeed. So a marvelous, marvelous time we're having today, and we just say thank you for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as we know that to be true, we can say together, and so it is. And we're going to introduce a wonderful lady for our talk for today. Dawn Bauer is a religious science practitioner licensed through Mile High Church in Lakewood, Colorado. She is currently serving both Mile High Church and the Centers for Spiritual Living here in Cape Coral, Florida, as an outreach practitioner. In addition, Dawn is an actress, a certified NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, I got through those words good, a coach and a former educator. She's a speaker and a workshop leader for schools and organizations across the country. Ladies and gentlemen, Dawn Bauer.
Thank you, John. Oh my gosh. So you guys were just clapping your hands. Do it again real quick. Clap, clap. So we all heard a sound there, yeah? What is the sound of one hand clapping? That was powerful. I'm just going to leave this down here because I'm afraid it's going to fall back down again.
How did you do that?
She did. What is the sound of one hand clapping? I see thoughts. The wheels are turning in everybody's brain. Everybody's coming up with some different answers, yeah? It's a koan. If you were here for the meditation, Linda brought up a koan, and well, I wrote it down here. More of the same could be a whole new thing, something like that. More of the same could be a whole new thing. The sound of one hand clapping, we could meditate on that for quite a while and all come up with different responses. Is it even considered a clap if it's one hand? If it's not a clap, does it even exist? I can't hear you. Then why the question? You can't hear me? No. I can hear me. I seem loud. So maybe I'm talking too quiet because I seem loud. Is that better? All right. Thank you, Jeremy. So there's not a right answer to a koan. And that's what's cool about it, because we get to stay in the question of what might it be, what could it be, what else is possible. It allows us to dive a little bit deeper into it not being this thing or that thing or another thing. And nobody's wrong. So this month is playing with paradox, as you all know. And this week's talk, I should have asked, how do we do this? There we go. Is shaking up our worldview. That's this week's talk, shaking up our worldview. And the world is a little shaky right now. I said I would do this talk today long before last Saturday, when things really started shifting in the Middle East. And this talk is not all about that, but I can't stand up here and pretend like it's not happening. So we will be touching on that, and keep that in the back of your mind as we're going through all these parts and pieces. Because we really do have a desire to be right. Am I right? Thank you. We do. We have a desire to be right, whether it's in personal relationships, whether it's in communities, or whether it's in the world. I remember when I was a kid growing up, I always wanted to get an A. I wanted to get 100%. I wanted to get everything right. There was some kind of approval that I got from that. And if you did something wrong, there was shame. Does anybody else have any similar feelings? And so when we start to say, oh, this is right and that is wrong, we really push down our ability to see what other options there are, what other possibilities there are to grow. I have lots of quotes today because I needed some help from some other wise individuals with this topic today. The test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposed ideas in the mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function. It's hard to function, isn't it? When there's these two opposing, or three opposing, or four opposing. That's F. Scott Fitzgerald. Another way to talk about this is maybe you've heard all or nothing thinking or black and white thinking. It's all about this. There's no gray area. It's either this, and if it's not this, it's wrong. Anybody know anybody like that? Anybody know anybody like that? We all can do it, right? We all can get into that space. And so I'm challenging you today to say, does it have to be one thing or another? Or can it be one thing and another? What I love about Ernest Holmes is that he went on this quest and got very curious and very vulnerable to learn about what is it about religion? What is it about philosophy? What is it about science? He really started diving into what is the universe? What is the truth? What are the golden threads that weave through all religions? And he expanded, right? He expanded others' thinking. He started speaking. He started sharing these ideas with people. He never had the intention of creating another church. He didn't really think that we needed another faith, another religion. He wanted the Christians and the Jews and the Muslims and everybody that was coming to hear him speak to go back to their churches and mosques and synagogues and temples and integrate this into what was already doing, because he didn't say anything wrong. He was holding it all in that space of love because it is all God. It is all God. And so then we're yet still challenged with, how do I work on my personal transformation and see this oneness in the universe at the same time? And yet, even though this is the teaching, and we blend this ancient wisdom with new thought, we still have a tendency to think we are right. I'm talking slowly on purpose today because this is a very thoughtful topic. Being in this space between being up in the air, being in the uncertainty, even we have a tendency to think that we're the right way. This is the right faith. And I don't know about you, but I think everybody has a similar story. When I first came to Center for Spiritual Living, I was like, oh my God, I've been looking for this. This is what I've been looking for. And I didn't want to look anywhere else. Has anybody had that experience? This made sense to me. And we can hold this thought that there's other people out there that still have no idea that we exist. That if they walked through these doors, they would say, oh my God, I've been looking for this. I didn't know this existed. I hoped that it would. And this is not for everyone. Can we hold that truth at the same time? This is not for everyone. And we are not evangelists for that reason. We don't go out and drag people in here and tell them they're going somewhere bad if they don't come in here, right? And so this is kind of a long quote. It's kind of small. I'm going to read this for you as well. This is Ernest Holmes. And I'm going to read this slowly because it's very juicy. Okay? So put on your thinking caps. What we must avoid, however, is the confusion which arises from a belief in final revelations, from the belief that all truth is at last discovered, or that some one person or some one system of thought has delivered the last word. There are no finalities in any science, any philosophy, or any religion. Through the continual emergence of the creative principle, any last finality proves to be but the beginning of a new creative series. This eternal spiral, finding its base in the everlasting reality, will never cease to emerge. What does that mean? The truth that we know today might not be true tomorrow. That's what that means. Ernest Holmes was all about being open at the top. Did you guys know that at one time in our history, people actually thought the world was flat? Did you know that? That was the truth. That was the absolute truth. You couldn't, until it wasn't. So we sit in these questions of, it does not have to be this or that. It can be both. Both can be true. So tapping into that curiosity that Ernest Holmes demonstrated, here's a little Albert Einstein for you. The important thing is to not stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. So how can we remain in the question? Is it possible that I can be sick and healing at the same time? Yes. We know the answer to that, right? But it does if we think about it. At what point does the healing start? Is there an end to the sickness and a start to the healing, or are they happening at the same time? Right? Can I be angry at someone for something that they did and love them so much at the same time? Yes. Baby, I love you. I love you, baby. Me too. Can we be proud to be an American and be embarrassed about America's history at the same time? It's often that we're forced to choose. People shame us. Well, if you're not over here, then you're my enemy. If you don't believe what I believe, then I don't want to talk to you. I'm pushing you out. I'm defriending you. I'm unfollowing you. I'm canceling you. And so how do we just remain neutral and have neutral be okay? How do we see the bigger picture? And it is staying in that playfulness and staying in the question, even when some people, they don't want to. They're more comfortable in the one or the other, and being able to hold both. And that takes vulnerability. That takes us being brave enough to stand in that space. And we all know Reverend Chris loves Brene Brown. I do too. So I've got two quotes here for you. Vulnerability is the first thing, this is a paradox right here. Vulnerability is the first thing we look for in other people and the last thing we want to show about ourselves. It's the first thing we look for in other people and the last thing we want to show about ourselves. There's a connotation that it means we're weak. We're fragile. We can easily be broken. Have you ever heard the phrase that you don't have a leg to stand on, right? It's like if you don't stand for this, or you don't stand for this, you don't stand for anything, it's like we're just like in the middle like this. No. Our vulnerability is our strength. Our vulnerability is our strength to be able to hold, just like that first quote, to be able to hold two seemingly opposing views at the same time. When you shut down vulnerability, you shut down opportunity. So again, with that growth, being able to stay curious, being able to stay vulnerable as we get curious and ask those questions and see what else is possible. What else is possible? And this is how we get to create deeper relationships with people as well. I'm going to share a personal story with you. A friend of mine in 2020, do you guys remember that year? It's kind of a crazy year. We had, a pandemic going on. We had a lot of racial tension in our country. We had political tension in our country, a lot of division. There was a lot going on. And I'm wondering if we're not still grieving from a lot of loss, whether that's losing someone from passing away or losing people because you don't think the same way I do, so I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I reached out to a friend to ask how she's doing. And she responded and said, right before, it's a good thing you messaged me because I was about to defriend you. on Facebook, social media. And I was like, why? Because I wasn't showing up the way she wanted me to. I wasn't doing what she thought was right. And that was hard. It was someone I considered a very close friend. And we weren't living in the same city anymore, so we didn't see each other very much anymore. But I was shocked that she thought that it meant I didn't care. Sorry, I tapped my microphone. And I said, let's get on video. Let's not talk over the phone. Let's get on video and have a conversation. And I sat there with a lot of anger from her. I sat there with a lot of anger, and I said that, this is not directed towards me. This is towards just the whole everything that's going on. And I sat with it. And what kept coming up for her was that I wasn't choosing a side. If I wasn't posting enough about this side, then therefore I was on that side, which wasn't true. I didn't know how to explain what it was without offending. I got vulnerable, and I let her just be angry, and I just kind of took it on and let it be. And then I sat with that question of what if I'm not on a side, what side am I on? What do I stand for? And here's what I came up with. I stand for love. I stand for love. I stand for peace. And if I am a bridge to help these people come together and say, can we connect here? Can we find the common ground here? Can we find the golden thread? How can we start from this place? Because when it comes down to it, we all do want the same things. We're just expressing it in different ways. And so I invite you to consider the same. How can you stand for love? How can you stand for love? And so I want you to say these affirmations with me. I am open to discovery. I stay with the question. My heart is open. I am childlike, and I approach things with wonder. This is a beautiful quote by Thomas More. He wrote Care of the Soul, if you've ever read that book. Care of the soul means not taking sides when there is a conflict at a deep level. It may be necessary to stretch the heart wide enough to embrace contradiction and paradox. And it might feel right now that we have to stretch our hearts really big. For those that can't right now. And this last slide as we consider what's going on in our own lives, consider what's going on across the world in Israel, Gaza. Our enemy is not other people. Our enemy is hatred, violence, discrimination, and fear. When we come from a place of standing for love, first and foremost, for peace, that's how we defeat this enemy. So I just invite everyone now to join me in prayer. invite you to close your eyes. And starting off first with just a moment of silence for all those who have been affected by what's going on in the Middle East right now. Lives that have been lost, families that have been torn apart, fear, anxiety. Holding love and peace in our minds. And just knowing that right here, right now, we are in the presence of God. God is in our breath. God is in our hearts. God is in our thoughts. God is working as us, through us, to bring more love, more peace, because that is exactly what this world needs right now. I know that I am one with the divine, one with that source of love and peace, and I know that it can pass through me, and I just need to choose to allow it. I know the same is true for each and every individual in this room, and whoever hears this recording in the future, and the same is true for each and every person on the planet, that we do get to choose love. We do get to choose to release fear. We do get to choose to step into curiosity. We do get to choose to be vulnerable, sitting in the question of what is the truth? Sitting in the and. And just knowing that as our world may be sick right now, it is also healing. Both are true. I'm so grateful to know this truth. As that love is vibrating through me right now, with such gratitude to be here today, given this gift to be able to speak today to you, and the challenge of it at the same time. So grateful for this community, knowing that we are all one. And we can do this together. I release these words into the law, knowing they are done, and so it is. And I do want to also mention that we have a card in the hallway for the Temple, I wrote it down, Temple Beth Shalom, down the way, if you'd like to sign that card and just express our love for them, letting them know that we're thinking about them in this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, John. So, yes, and Reverend Chris will take that card over on Monday. He's already been in touch with them. So we just want to stay in love for the situation. So this is our time for circulation, to practice circulation and to recognize that Spirit is our source and to give where we are spiritually fed. And so I also want to say a thank you for all the people that are making this place so beautiful. We had beautification day yesterday. I don't know if B was going to say that, but I'm very appreciative to all our worker bees that were out there yesterday. I know because it was very hot. So for our circulation today and our giving, we know we can text our tithe. We know that we can send our contribution through PayPal, donate through our website. There's a button on our website, and you can mail a check to our address here in Cape Coral. So now as we, and for those joining us in person, Kay and Roberta are going to come by with baskets, and you can place your gifts and your prayer cards in the basket. So we love to receive those prayer cards too. So if we can all repeat our affirmation. Today, I know the activity of divine abundance is at work in my life and the life of this center. I give and receive generously as I live in the flow of bountiful good.
Standing as one in the presence of the power, standing where others have stood. Gladly we offer the gifts of our abundance, knowing the source of our good. Standing as one in the presence of the power, standing where others have stood. Gladly we offer the gifts of our abundance, knowing the source of our good.
Okay, as we just say a word of blessing for all the gifts and the givers, knowing that we do stand where others have stood. We're getting ready to celebrate 50 years here, and if this is where you're spiritually fed, we appreciate your tithes and your offerings. So knowing that there is only God, and that includes money, that energy that circulates through and throughout, enabling us to help and create and enjoy and just spread love. So I appreciate all the gifts, the giver, and we know that all that goes out comes back pressed down and overflowing, that we cannot outgive God. So I just let it be, and together we can say, and so it is. Thank you. Is B coming up here? Oh. Okay, make our day. Let us pray. I'm the host now. That's try to pry this microphone from my fingers. So we have practitioners up here.
Well, you're not here all year, so, you can take the pulpit here. So make our day. The practitioners will be available after service up front here for anyone that needs prayer, and get your prayer in today. Yeah. And that's it. See, I don't know why Pam couldn't finish. But you can stand up and join the big love band and get your groove on, I guess.
If you hear the song we sing, you will understand. You hold the key to love and fear, all in your trembling hand. Just one key unlocks them both. It's there at your command. Come on, people now, smile on each other. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on each other. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Right now, right now. Have a good week.